What up? What up? We are back with the silver screen breakdowns. I'm Alex.
I am. Okay, I'm just Bogard. I was trying to think of something stupid.
And I am Ebenezer Peacock.
Okay. Damn it. Okay, I'm Lee Majors.
Yes. The $6 million man.
I'm on Silver Screen Breakdowns.
We have our main man, Frank Cross. He is visited by two ghosts already, the ghost of his boss and partner, and the ghost of Christmas past. And he already turned into Niagara Falls, man. He was crying like a little girl. And the ghost of Christmas past told him that he was going to. He sees all these old bad memories, brings up a lot of pain and trauma in Frank Cross's life.
He didn't try to fucking bury those. Those are called repressed memories.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not very happy Christmases as a child. Yeah. His dad giving him veal.
Christmas.
Veal for Christmas. Yeah, that's basically why. I think he tells his brother when they were having that stroll before he got the award that Christmas is for kids. You know, it's just whatever. It's time for him to rake in the dough, though, and exploit it.
You know what's crazy is, like, just real quick. I always loved Christmas, and even when I got older, and like, you know, it's like an older kid, you know what I mean, like teenager, and you know, the gifts slow down or whatever because you're getting older. They might give you some money or whatever. That's cool too. But like, It was always about just like, man, I couldn't wait to like rock with my family. Then, especially when I got old enough to like drink and shit, because
sure.
It was like that's getting the Christmas spirit, you know what I mean? And all the games and all the shit I used to watch them having, like laughing, and you know what I mean? And you know the holly jolly shit, right? That's what it was all about. Because you know what I'm saying, I'll be trying to make sure my kids feel that, and then it sucked too because of COVID, like not being able to be with like the entire family, and you know what I mean. It was like different, you know what I mean? Like, man, because I want them to have that same type of Christmas type of vibe that I had, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, this actually the first, because even like last year when everything, or last 2 years, it's like opened up, right, in Cali, and then like, but you know, all my family was out this way, you know what I mean? And so, like, this is actually going to be the first year that, like, we all rock again. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally
So,
stoked.
I was going to say, yeah, so his childhood trauma, and then his past relationship trauma, and then his work life steadily increasing. So he split up with Claire after 3 years. That's like his only love. He chose work, his profession, over her. And we already know that he hasn't seen her in 15
Claire,
years.
We can safely assume that a lot of hookers.
Something like that, I'm sure. Nothing emotionally.
Earlier to the boss. Come on, you know you paid for them.
Yeah, exactly.
He definitely followed in his footsteps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's on that path of what his former partner, best friend Lou, would, you know, the ghost who first visited him from the golf course, you know, keeled over and still wearing his golf course stuff. Not like, you know, he's going to get buried in the same shit he died in, but whatever. But still, really good effects. That was, you know, that's one of those things that stayed in my mind
He's
as a
wearing
kid.
The same joint that he died in, because that was the last time he was alive, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. But he was all rotted out and shit. Anyways, let's not get into that. So we see all of that happen. He comes back to the present, right? He's back on set. He's rambling on and on about, I believe, he's decided that Claire, because he's mumbling the whole way over to where her outreach program is or whatever, about her being selfish or I don't know what. Like, he's going there,
like he's
trying to set the record straight. Like, he's like,
practicing about to go ham.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's trying to get his shit together and tell her what's up.
What does he do his whole life anyway? Project it onto everybody else. So he's just like, oh, it's her fault.
It's not lonely at the top, or I don't know what he says. There have been up and downs and long weekends, but I've raised hell, and I don't know what he says. Like, he's just trying to talk himself up at the same time, you know, having that fake argument in his head. But he gets in there and he gets sidetracked by all the folks that are in there. the temporary shelter.
Yeah, because he, it's kind of like when you're successful, I'm sure you don't worry about, they say, oh, I just want to say hi to the little people out there, right? Like,
Right.
then it's compartmentalized, like, you don't know. And then like here, the one that he like loves, quote unquote, whatever. Not even maybe I didn't need to put air quotes, right? But like, she's just a decent human being over here working, helping the world.
Peace on earth, trying to spread the Christmas cheer and help out on Christmas Eve and give these folks some warm food and a place to stay and
for real,
whatever. So he comes in babbling like a crazy, looking like a crazy person, and one of the ladies there gives him a blanket. It's like, oh, you poor soul, and sits him down.
You poor crazy man.
Here, let's get you warmed up.
He's probably, hey, that's probably the most love he's ever got shown in a long time, too. Like, wow, bro,
immediately after that, like some 3 like homeless looking folks come up and they introduce themselves as like Liz and Herman and Sandpipe. I don't know what the heck the guy's name is, but they keep calling him Dick. Mr. Robinson, Mr. I don't know what they keep calling him, or Ava's her name, I guess. I don't know. And they want him to recite a movie that he was supposedly in or whatever. They keep bugging him, and he's like, just to get these guys off, he's like, all right, fine. He starts saying something, and like, I don't know who it is, Chuck Heston, or I don't know. He just says some random bullshit. It's crazy. And they get, just to appease them. He's like, all right, get away from me, you crazy folks, and all this shit. And then that's when Claire notices him, like, because there's a bunch of commotion going on. They all started clapping for him and stuff after his little performance.
Yeah, he's a savage.
This is fucking hilarious. But then, like, he comes in and like he's all lovey-dovey, hugging up on her, all crazy, and like grabbing her by the waist, and
totally
kind of professing
out the window, huh?
Yeah, totally opposite of what he was, babbling about when he got on his way over there. Threw his plan out the window.
What plan? Why he, you know what I mean?
Went with plan B.
How fucking great of a fucking person she is.
And they're having a great time, but all this gets thwarted real quick because there's a problem. There's a problem at the shelter. There's the turkeys or some shit. I forget what it was.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there's no turkeys. They're not on their way. I don't know what's going on. She needs to make a phone call and figure out what's happening. And the heater's not working. Or I don't know what's happening. What else? They don't have blankets. What's the other problem? I can't remember. There's something going on though.
The building's on fire.
There's another problem.
Bad, bro.
Yeah, but Frank is like, like he's had enough. He's like, look, just go get the phone book and look under A or P or whatever for the turkeys, and that's where you can get them. And you're big girls, and you can handle it, and get out of here, or whatever. And she's like, Claire's like, come on, calm down. I'll be right back. Like, just wait a minute, and I'll go with you, and we'll do whatever you want.
Please help us.
Yeah, and he's like, they're volunteers because nobody will hire them. And he just like starts going into them, and he doesn't stop. He just keeps, kind of treating him like if they were his, people on set or whatever, where he works. And then he starts being rude to her, and she's like, just give me a second. And he's like, don't bother. She's like, let me finish here and I'll go with you. He's like,
skits, huh?
Take the rest of your life and then he gives her some advice. He's like, scrape them off. Save yourself. And then she's like, that's a wonderful attitude to have on Christmas Eve. Son of a bitch, really.
I know, what a
And then he goes, bah, humbug. Right there. Classic Scrooge. He just admits that he's Scrooge right here at this point of the film. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Lumpy, and he's gone.
Hey, I just realized maybe Lumpy is because he had like coal in his stockings.
Oh,
look at that! Give me a ding.
Ding. There it is. Yeah, and so he's leaving the shelter, and you see Herman and one of the other guys out there, and he's like, "Hey, Dick, can you spare $2 so I can heat my place tonight?" He's like, I left it inside. Why don't you go ask some other sucker or whatever? He just takes off, all pissed off.
Shit.
So he walks back to.
It's when I was rewatching it, I was thinking like he was gonna have one of those moments right there, bruh, and be like, "Give me the phone book, fucking," and then I'll pay for it.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Like just buy all the turkeys just so I can get this pussy real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna like just flex real quick. He just went right.
He should have.
It's Christmas Eve, isn't it?
But then the movie would have been over right there, and we still have 2 more ghosts to go.
You ain't lying.
So. And so he walks back to
You
set.
still got the Kama Sutra book? Hell yeah.
He walks back to set, and the whole production's going on, and you see the Golden Globe dancers shaking their asses, and then Scrooge walks through. It's just a hilarious concept to have, because that's one of his things that he threw in there, obviously, that he's keeping in there. The whole thing, the reindeer with the antlers and shit too. Well, that's the boss guy, but still. But showing some TNA. If he could have some explosions and some acrobats, that Mary Lou Retton thing, that's his thing also. But if he could have like some, some ninja elves with nunchucks, then he would take it, right? But he can't in this production, unfortunately, and he only has so much leeway. And this guy Brice is kind of taking over, so he walks in on him basically, giving the direction. He's like, everybody, great work. Let's clear the street. Let's take dinner. He calls dinner. Like, see you guys. And he's real like, everybody 1 hour break. No problem.
Contrast.
This includes walking time. Yeah. Complete opposite. California cool guy, like just chilling kind of maybe. I don't know if he's from California, but he looks that way.
Not the Scrooge.
Yeah. Exactly. Kind of more chill. He's wearing like gray pants, not a dark suit.
Him working though on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and as soon as he sees him, he's like, "Hey, Frank, I've been looking all over for you." And he's like, starts rubbing his shoulders, like, relax. And he's like, "I call the brakes around here." Frank tells him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes, buddy." He's like, "You want me to call him back? I'll call him right back, and you can send him right off whenever you want." And he grabs the megaphone. Everybody, hey, Frank, hold on, Ixnay. Frank has something important to tell you guys. And with a megaphone, and he just turns around and puts it right in his face. And Frank's like, "You and I have a talk, whatever." So pulls him aside. "You and I need to have a little talk," or whatever it is. He's like, "Look, Preston asked me to stop by for a drink. I really can't do that right now. Okay, see you later, buddy." He curbs him, takes off.
Curve. It's like the big curve right there.
So he starts walking off, I guess probably to his office to go have a drink or see what's up on set. But the set's cleared and all the lights start shutting off. He's like, "Hey, what the hell? What's going on, man?" And in pops Ghost number 2, which would be the Ghost.
And I got the clip. Ghost of Christmas Present, and I got the clip of her making her entrance.
Hi, Frank. Come on out and play with me.
Hello, Frank. I'm the Ghost of Christmas Present.
I had a funny feeling. Why did you do that?
Sometimes you have to slap them in the face.
Fine. Slap me in the face. But you kicked me in the balls.
Frank. It's time to begin our journey. Now, close your eyes. And think.
No. You close your eyes.
Oh, no.
I'm through.
Don't be quarrelsome. Close your eyes. Of snowflakes and moonbeams and whiskers on Kit. No picking. Of rainbows, forget-me-nots, of misty meadows and sun-dappled pools. Oh, look, there's Mr. Hedgehog. I wonder where he's going. Perhaps to Harlem.
Harlem. Perhaps to Harlem.
Oh, God, my jaw.
Oh, sometimes the truth is painful, Frank, but it's made your cheeks all rosy and your eyes bright as stars.
If you touch me again, I'm gonna rip your goddamn wings off. Okay?
Oh, you know I like the rough stuff, don't you, Frank?
Yeah, Bogey.
Fun fact. When
All
they're
right.
shooting this scene, right? He kept telling her, "Hit me for real." Right? He's a real freak. This actually says a lot about Bill Murray, right? "Hit me for real." And she kept hitting him and hitting him. And she even busted his lip so bad that they had to stop the shoot until he healed up.
Wow.
Yeah. Hit me
I
hard.
believe it. This scene was very violent, man. It continues throughout the whole time she's with him.
She's fucking him up.
Yeah, she keeps fucking him up for a good maybe 8 more minutes of the movie, maybe, or something longer, as she's showing him. She takes him to Harlem, to where Grace lives, and she shows him, how poor she's living there with all the family in the house, and sneaking in through the kids are playing and they can't figure out a game, and the little quiet son Calvin ends up taking it over to the windowsill and figures it out. It's like, oh, it's a bright boy. And so he asks her, hey, what's wrong with him? And she gives him the 411, and this is where we find out finally why he can't speak.
Yep. And his dad, what'd they say? His dad was, they don't say how he was killed.
No,
but they said that his dad died. And I just assume it's Harlem. This is like a new story on. He was probably, he was shot or something, just in the ghetto, in the hood somewhere. And so, he hasn't spoke since. And yeah, it was fun. Like, she even asked him, he was like, I didn't even know that her husband died. And she was like, Frank, do you remember when she wore black for a whole year? I just thought it was some kind of fashion statement,
People were wearing black.
So, of course, he's just going to justify it however it is. And just literally the exact same, premise as like watching Tiny Tim and Bob Crackett. And,
You're right.
Huge family, small house, not a lot of money. Looks like they're having a lot of fun, though, even with money.
So the fairy ghost here, present, pulls him in. She's like, come inside, come have fun. And they're giving raspberries to the older son on the floor. And so she starts flicking his ear and giving him raspberries and beating him up a little bit again. Yeah. But yeah, she flicks his ear a bunch of times, actually. Now that I think about it, his ear gets all red. Yeah. But let's see. They don't mention why the father passes away. We do figure out that the little boy isn't like dumb, right? Because he figures out the game when his 2 older cousins or siblings couldn't figure it out. Yeah. She tells him that it's going to be his choice. Only he can decide when he'll be okay. Because he kind of expresses some worry. He's like, is he going to be all right? Yeah. And so anyway, she starts giving him raspberries and he's like, more. And he starts laughing so much that like she gets violent and just punches him in the face.
Yeah. Another one. Cold clocks him again.
And he rolls down some stairs, and it's like a studio apartment, I guess, in New York. And he's falling down the stairs, and a dog's barking at him. And the people can't see him, obviously, but he's at his brother's house at the Christmas dinner that he was invited to in Act 1.
Oh, this is present day. That's right.
Yeah, where they blew off, and where he blew his brother off, and they're exchanging the gifts. And he's always been real, I guess, like. Keen on his sister-in-law or whatever, and stuff. So you just kind of see that dynamic. Like he cares for his brother a little bit, but he can't. It's like we're at this lame party. I don't want to be here. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
And I guess the difference between this and the Christmas Carol, in a Christmas Carol, it's like Scrooge's like nephew or like something like that. They make this one hit a little closer to home when it's literally his brother.
Right.
I think Bill Murray's actual brother was in this movie too. I don't know if he played though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
John Murray.
There you go.
John Murray, and that he played James Cross, Frank's brother.
Oh, so that is his brother in real life.
Played his brother. Oh, yeah. Word!
Wow.
Look at that. You learn something new every day.
Cool.
Yeah, because when I was trying to find all kind of tidbits for the movie, I was like, "Oh, his brother's in there."
Oh, that is funny.
I never stopped to think. I wonder if his brother played his brother.
Looks like so. He's having a shouting match with the fairy. They're going back and forth just about random stuff because his brother tells everyone what he got him for Christmas. So she plugs his ears and then he sees what was given to his brother by him supposedly, but Grace sends him a VCR and he's like, that's not a towel. Because, he was going to give a towel to his own brother, remember, in Act 1. And so he's kind of pouting. But his brother is really like, wow, this is super thoughtful. And he gives up a whole toast. And he's like, I wish he was here. And, I love him. And
to Frank.
Yeah, exactly. And his, that's awesome. It wasn't sarcastic.
But he was mad because he gave him the wrong gift.
Yeah, but then like that kind of touched him. it touched him. It touched him a little bit though, and so he was like, "Fine, you could keep the VCR." And so they continue playing. They're playing like a trivia game, and they're like, "What boat took them to? What is it? Everybody to Gilligan's Island or whatever? What's the name of the boat?" And they're like, "The SS Mackerel." And he's like, "Oh my God! Like, you know what the answer is? Yeah, that's right. 4:20 a.m. radio. It's the SS Minnow. That's the answer, and everybody knows that." And so he's trying to shout, and he gets into basically another fist fight here with the fairy. She headbutts him, picks up a toaster, one of those four bread toasters, and just gives him like an uppercut, kind of
hit me harder.
And he flies out of nowhere and lands underground. Yeah, he lands in the suit, like I guess like the sewer area. Or I don't even know, like a storage unit under the streets of New York, like under the grate, kind of like where the turtles were hanging out when they got the pizza.
Yeah, well,
in the first turtle movie.
I heard like in New York, a lot of those old sewers, like because they built on top of shit at one point or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So he ends up in one of those areas. There's icicles coming in, from the grates and stuff, and he's trying to shout at people, but obviously he's like in ghost mode or whatever, so they can't hear him. And he sees off in the corner, he sees Herman with a Christmas tree sitting there with his red gloves on and his watch that he had earlier in the when he was at the shelter. Herman remembers one of the homeless guys that was at the shelter. He was actually the guy who asked him for $2 so he could heat his place that night. So he goes over to Herman, and Herman's looking a little pale. And actually, Herman's looking a little icy. And then he goes over to touch Herman. Herman's frozen dead. He's like, "Hey, it's Dick." Liz said hi, and he touches him, and the watch falls out of the hand, kind of lowers down. See icicles frozen on Herman's nose. He gets pissed off, It's like, "You stupid ass." I don't know what he calls him. Calls him a bunch of things. He's like, "You should have gone with Claire, you should have gone back. You should." And this is like, I remember as a kid watching this, it's kind of sad. It's like, oh, the guy died. Herman is an awesome guy. Herman was also in Roxanne with Steve Martin. Yeah, I remember that. Roxanne. Haven't seen that one in a while.
Roxanne.
Thanks for that 4:20 a.m. radio. That's The Police, for sure. Unrelated, I think.
I've never seen Roxanne the movie though.
So yeah, Frank's pissed, and he's like starts talking to himself. Frank needs to get out of there. If not, he's gonna freeze to death also. So he's like, "This is the door, isn't it? This is it." And so he like hurts his shoulder trying to bang it open. Starts kind of being crazy, like, "Ah!" He's like, "This is it. I'm gonna get out of here. This is the only door." And he like slams through, and he breaks through onto the set. And he's like slips down, knocks over a bunch of props. A barrel rolls over, and it hits the censor who's sitting in a chair and can't get out of the way. Boom! She gets fucked up for the second time in the movie. Yeah,
it's a great run-on joke.
Yeah, it is. And they're like, "Hey, get that moron off set." And he's trying to hide behind some of the kid actors, and nothing to. They're like, "Oh God, it's Frank," and they're like, "We've been worried sick," and they're like, "Oh shit, he's drunk," and all this stuff. And he's just.
Because he can't do stumbling and bumbling.
And then he grabs one of the kids and he takes the cane and he's like trying to fight everybody off. And they're like, "Everybody take 3 minutes." That Brice guy comes over. He's like, "Take a leg, break, calm down." And he's like, Bill Murray's just like, "I just want to say, break a leg, everybody." And then Brice is like, "Yeah, let's do it for him. It's his baby." And he's like, "I think we should get you upstairs. It's been such an honor." And they're like, let's get you on up there. Brice, take him away, kind of. And right before they're getting to the elevator to do that, he's walking him through. He turns his back and the door's open. He turns around and there's Death just standing there. And he's like, "Ah!" And he freaks the hell out. And he like yells in Grace's ear and he pushes her out of the way and he gets down on his knees. And he's like, "You think I'm afraid? I'm afraid of you," and all this shit. He's like, "You want me? Come get me, you pussy." And then Brice finally breaks it up, and he's like, "All right, get this guy out of here." And it's the one of the prop guys. He's the ghost of Christmas Future on the Christmas Carol show, and he's like, Bill Murray's on his knees, like all disheveled. Yeah, it's an actor. It's not even the real Death, So he's in the elevator, and he's like, "Oh, that guy's gonna be great. He's gonna kill it tonight, or whatever." And he goes up in the elevator. We see Mary Lou Retton doing her tumbling pass, throws her crutches, and God bless everyone. And they're getting all pumped up for the show. They zoom into Calvin, and he's like, everybody's getting geared up. And the announcer's like, tonight, live world premiere telecast of the immortal Charles Dickens Scrooge and all that crap. They pump it up. Show
this on. So I do got a clip of him.
Oh, cool.
Of him when he sees death. Right after this, we'll cut it for Act 3 since now we made it past the ghost of Christmas Present.
Nice.
And everyone will get to see this in Act 2 and 3 because this is classic.
Yeah.
It's been such an honor to work for the great Frank Cross. I'm going to dine out on this for months. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want Grace to take you upstairs now where I think things might just be a little safer than down here. Okay? You're beautiful, Frank. You got any last tips for me, huh?
Kissing ass.
Frank, go watch the show. He's here for me. Come on. All right, come on. Give it to me. You think I'm afraid of you? The day I've had? I know what you came for. Come and get it, you pussy.
Right. Stop scaring Frank. Get this nutcake out of here.
He's in the show, Mr. Cross, as the ghost of Christmas future.
He's great. That guy's gonna be a big star.
Great save.
He has a lot of energy in this movie.
And now remember, they do call it Ghost of Christmas Future. It's in the Muppets Christmas Carol where he calls him the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
I'm sure they do in other versions as well. I've heard that before.
You gotta get
or maybe it's that one.
Copyright infringements, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You gotta buy the rights to things, type of shit.
The Ghost of Quantum Leap.
The Ghost of the Quantum Realm.
The Ghost of Days Past. The Ghost of our ancestors.
The ghost. I can't. Now you got me.
The Ghost of our grandchildren. That's a good one for the future.
Ooh.
And that's where we'll leave off.
Unborn semen.
No. Get out of here.
I totally came out wrong. Pause.
And that's where we're going to leave off. Act number 2.
Damn, I'm good.
Oh man. And if you are not subscribed to the audio podcast at Silver Screen Breakdowns, go subscribe on Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you get your podcasts, and go subscribe we're on YouTube, Silver Screen Breakdowns. We are on TikTok, Instagram, now on Rumble. Go check us out over there. Yeah, Peacock, let them know.
Yeah, check out all my stuff at neonpeacockmerch.com. I think the last day of the sale that I got going on is today. So still time to get stuff in time for Christmas and on sale still. Check it out.
Yeah. My name is Bogard, Scott Free. Check me out everywhere you consume your music. Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Apple. Give me money.
All right, and we will see you guys on the other side for act number 3. Everybody watching live, make sure you stick with us. Peace out.
Silver screen, motion picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really lit this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.